Now I want you to watch very carefully and see if you can guess when I'm going to appear. Hello. Did you guess? Were you watching carefully? Today it's all about watching and waiting. So I'm going to play a little game. I'm going to do a few little actions, but I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to do them. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. So you've got to watch very carefully. Okay, are you ready? How did you get on? Did you follow? Were you able to do it as soon as I did it? That's a game you could play with maybe one of your family and see how watchful they are. See if they can guess when you're going to do a certain thing. Now, today's story is one that Jesus told because he wanted his disciples to understand that although he was going to leave them, he would come back. But they wouldn't know when he was going to come back. They wouldn't know whether it was very soon or whether it was in a few years, or we didn't know. And we don't know. We know that Jesus is going to come back one day, but we don't know when. But Jesus wants us to be ready for whenever that is. But how can you be ready for something when you don't know that it's going to happen? Well, Jesus told a story about a man who lived in a very nice house. He had lots of servants. He had a man who stood at the door making sure that nobody got in that shouldn't go in. And the servants looked after the man very, very well. They made sure that whenever he came home there was a nice meal ready for him. They made sure that his clothes were always clean and hanging nicely for when he wanted to put them on. They made sure that the house was clean and tidy, and that if any of their guests arrived, there would always be extra food or extra drinks for them. And one day the man said to them, "I'm going away. I don't know how long I'll be gone, but I'll see you when I get back." And off he went. Well, thought the servants, I wonder when he's going to come back. It could be tomorrow. It could be in 2 days' time. It could be in 3 days' time. It could be a week, a fortnight. They just did not know. But one thing they did know was that whenever he came back, he would expect everything to be as good as it was usually. He had to be able to walk in and know that he could have a nice meal, that his bed was clean and comfortable, and that his clothes were ready for the next day. And the doorkeeper, well, he had to stand on duty all the time. He couldn't fall asleep because somebody could sneak in when they were least expected. And this was a way Jesus was saying, you mustn't sit back and just wait for things to happen. Waiting is not just something you kind of don't do in a thing. Waiting means waiting and being ready. And so when the man did come back, the doorkeeper was there to welcome him. The servants put out beautiful food for him. They took him to his room, and his bed was clean and comfortable, and his clothes were ready for the next day. And that's what Jesus was saying to us. We need to be ready when he comes back, because otherwise we could be caught unawares. Now, I don't know if you know, but the time that we are coming to in the church year is called Advent. And I expect you can remember that when we're all in church at Advent, we have an Advent ring, a set of candles. And on the first Sunday of Advent, we light the first candle. And then on the second Sunday of Advent, we light the second candle, and so on. And Matt calls out one of you young people to come forward. Sometimes somebody has to lift you up because it's quite a tall candle holder, but you light a candle. Well, now I thought, as we can't be in church this year, it would be nice to make our own Advent ring, but no matches, no flames. We're making a safe Advent ring. Now, I've started mine, but I'll show you how I made it and how I'm going to finish it off to show you what you can do at home. Now, yours doesn't have to be the same as mine, of course, but this is just an idea. So what I did was I took our favourite, a paper plate. There's my paper plate. And then I took some strips of paper. Now, I've chosen red, green, because I thought that would be quite nice. But you could use any colour that you want. And I just glued the two ends together, and then I held it for a little while so that it would stick, just like that. And then it makes a kind of a little loop. And then when it was dry, leave it a minute or two longer, I then put a dab of glue on one side and a dab of glue on my paper plate, and I put it like that. Okay, I've got two more pieces, and if you noticed, I've gone from green to red to green to red to green to red, and hopefully I'll complete the circle and I won't have two reds next to each other or two greens next to each other. Let's have a little look. It's time for a red one, so a little bit more glue. Okay, and I think I've got space for one more. Ooh, that one hasn't stuck yet. I think I've got space for one more. Now, perhaps you can tell me what colour I need. Green, did you guess? So I'm just going to make my green one. Hold it for a few minutes, let it stick. And then I'm going to dab of glue on my paper plate, a dab of glue on my little shape there, and stick it in. Now I've completed all the pieces round the edge of my Advent ring. Now I could leave it like that, or I could take some of these nice little shapes. I've got stars, I've got flowers, all sorts of things, leaves, and I could, if I wanted to, just put a little dab and do that, and just go round the ring. Let's have some different colours. This one's a silver one, it'll shine out nicely. And what's this one? Ooh, little flower. Needs a bit more glue, that one, because that's quite stiff. Okay, and we can carry on going round and round. You could screw up some tissue paper, make a little tissue paper ball. You've got lots of ideas in your head. You don't need to copy mine exactly. So now I've got my Advent ring, but I need some candles. Now, in church we have proper candles, but I'm not going to use proper candles. I'm going to use these little battery operated tea lights. and when I turn it on, it looks like a candle. Now, where am I going to put my candles? Well, each week in Advent, the candles represent a different thing. The first week, which is this week, is representing hope. And it comes from a story in one of the Old Testament where they talk about a Messiah coming to save the world. So people looked forward to that with hope. So I'm going to put my first candle next to that, and I've written just in front of it, I'll show you, I've just written the word hope. You probably can't see that very yes. Oh, and that didn't stick, so I'll put that on in a minute. The next week is peace, the next week is love, and the last week is joy. These are all the words that fit with how we feel about the coming of Jesus Christ on Christmas Day. So I'm going to put my first candle on the word hope. Now I'm going to take my other candles, I'm not going to light them yet because it's still the first week. I'm going to put a candle ready for peace, I'm going to put a candle ready for love, and a candle ready for joy. So I've got my 4 candles. Now if your parents remember a certain television programme, they might be able to tell you a story about 4 candles. You can't help saying it. If you're my age, or maybe a bit younger like your parents, a lot younger like your parents actually, they might know all about 4 candles. But I've got 4 candles, but I've also got a bigger one, a bigger candle, and that's going to go right in the middle. Now, we've got hope, we've got peace, we've got love, we've got joy, but this candle is what we're waiting for. This candle represents Jesus. So on Christmas Day, the day that Jesus was born, you will be able to light that candle. So there's your Advent ring. You can make one at home quite easily, and if you can get hold of some of these special candles, then we don't have any matches, we don't have any flames, and hopefully they'll be safe. So enjoy the time of Advent, keep watching, keep waiting, just as Jesus told us to. Bye-bye.